Story 1, The Dorm Room at 3 a.m. I noticed the cursor moving before I touched the mouse. Finals week. Second semester junior year. Room 214, Caldwell Hall. The heating vent rattled every 40 minutes. The window faced the parking lot. That faint amber glow was always there, even at 3 a.m. I was used to all of it. What I wasn't used to was watching my cursor drift. Slowly. Deliberately. Toward my open email tab. I told myself it was the mouse. Cheap wireless. Battery dying. I picked it up, turned it over, set it back down. The cursor stopped. 18 minutes later, my screen dimmed. Not the normal sleep mode dim. A partial dim. Like when someone enables remote access. I'd seen it once before in a computer science lab. The screen gets this quality, like the brightness is being borrowed. I sat very still and watched my own taskbar. Nothing moved. I convinced myself it was a background update and kept writing. At 4:07 a.m., I got a notification from my university cloud account. New login detected. Location, on-campus network. Device, unknown. I assumed it was my phone auto-syncing. I dismissed it. I finished my paper. I went to sleep. The next evening, my roommate came back. He'd been home all week. First thing he asked was why I'd moved his external hard drive. I hadn't touched it. It had been on his desk since Monday. But when we looked, it was on my desk. Plugged into the back of my laptop. I didn't remember doing that. He looked at me the way people do when they're deciding whether to believe you. He didn't say anything else. That night, I started looking. I checked my laptop's shared access log. It's buried in the settings. Most people don't know it exists. Every remote session, every file access, it's all there. Most of it was clean. But there was one entry. Thursday, 3:08 a.m. 11 minutes. It accessed my downloads folder. My documents. And the subfolder for my financial aid forms. The one with my student ID, my social, my bank routing number. 11 minutes. While I was sitting right there. I went to campus IT the next morning. The technician looked at the log for a long time. Then she asked if I'd ever connected to Caldwell Guest. The Open Auxiliary Network. I had. Once, back in September. She told me that network had been flagged twice for suspicious relay activity. Someone was using it to tunnel into devices that had connected to it. Quietly. Patiently. Waiting for a window. She said the hard drive being moved was the part that bothered her. Because that wasn't remote access. That was physical. Which meant, at some point between Monday and Wednesday night, while I believed I was completely alone, someone had been in my room. The building's key card system showed 4 entries that week. 2 were mine. 1 was my roommate leaving. The 4th was Tuesday at 2:51 a.m. Registered to a temporary maintenance credential. Facilities had no record of issuing it. The investigation went quiet after that. I was moved to a different room. Precautionary, they said. No one used the word suspect. No one told me anything. I followed up 3 times. Each time, I was told it was ongoing. That was 8 months ago. I transferred schools in January. I'm not at that university anymore. Last week, I got another notification. New login detected. Same device tag. Same campus network signature. But I'm not on that network. I haven't been for months. I don't have that network. I don't know what device it's pinging from. Or where that device is. Or how long it's been there, waiting to find a window again. I just know the notification came at 3:09 a.m. 1 minute after the first one did. I'm staring at my phone in my new room. In a different city. And the notification is right there. From a network that doesn't exist anymore. That's when I realized. It was never the network. It was never the room. It was me. And it never stopped watching. Story 2, the study group that wasn't. She texted me at 11 p.m. asking if I was still coming to the library. That was the first wrong thing, because we hadn't planned to meet at the library. I'd cancelled the study group that afternoon, sent a message to the whole group chat, confirmed by everyone including her. 3 blue ticks. She'd replied with a thumbs up at 2:43 p.m. I have the screenshot now. I have all of them. I texted back, I cancelled, remember? You confirmed. She replied immediately, no. I've been here since 9. Where is everyone? I called her. She picked up on the second ring and she sounded completely normal, tired, a little confused, not scared. She said she'd come straight from her evening lecture, that she'd been in the East Wing study room for 2 hours, that the building was almost empty but that was normal for a Tuesday. I asked her to check her phone and read me her last message in the group chat. She went quiet for a moment and then said, "It says I confirmed the cancel." I don't remember sending that. I told her to come home. She said she would, she just needed to pack up her things. She didn't come home for another 40 minutes. The library was a 7-minute walk. When she got back she was fine, physically fine, I want to be clear about that. But she was quiet in the way people get when something small has shaken them and they haven't processed it yet. She said when she went to leave, someone had been sitting at the table just outside the study room door. She hadn't noticed anyone when she arrived or at any point during the 2 hours she was there. But now there was a man, older, she said, not a student, sitting with no laptop, no books, no bag. Just sitting. Facing the study room door. She said he looked at her when she came out. She said he didn't look surprised to see her. She walked fast and didn't look back. She said she felt watched all the way to the exit. We reported it to campus security. They reviewed the library's camera footage the next day. The East Wing study room, the one she'd been in, had a camera in the hallway outside it. The footage showed her arriving at 9:04 p.m., the hallway empty behind her. For the next 2 hours, the hallway stayed empty. At 11:22 p.m., she exited the room and walked toward the main corridor. The table she described, where the man had been sitting, was visible in the frame. It was empty. No one was there. But when the investigator zoomed in on the footage, they found something. At 11:19 p.m., 3 minutes before she came out, the camera had a dropout. 44 seconds of static. When the feed resumed, the hallway looked exactly the same. Empty table. Empty corridor. No one. 44 seconds is enough time to sit down. It's enough time to stand up and walk out of frame. The technician said the dropout was consistent with a localized signal block, the kind you get from a device designed to interrupt wireless feeds within a short range. You can buy them. They're not difficult to find. Whoever was in that hallway knew where the camera was. Knew its range. Timed it. The question we kept coming back to was the message. The confirmation she sent, the thumbs up at 2:43, that she had no memory of sending. Her phone showed no signs of tampering. No third-party apps, no remote access logs, nothing. The message came from her device, her account, her number. The only explanation that held any weight, the one the investigator said quietly, not officially, was that the message was sent for her. That someone who had been watching the group chat, who had access to her account at some point, had seen the cancellation and replied to keep her there. Alone. At night. In a building that empties out. She changed her number, changed her passwords, and finished the semester online. The man in the hallway, the man the camera didn't catch, was never identified. Campus security said they had no record of anyone matching her description entering the building that evening. But someone blocked that camera. Someone knew the window. And someone wanted her to stay. And what kept me up at night, what still does, is that he was already there when she arrived. He wasn't waiting to see if she'd come. He already knew she would. Story 3, The Parking Structure. I was working the overnight booth at the campus parking structure, $11 an hour, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., 5 nights a week. Level 1 booth, facing the entry gate. 6 cameras on my monitor. I'd done the shift for almost a full semester without anything I'd call unusual. The night it changed started the same as every other one. By 1 a.m. the structure was down to 11 vehicles. I kept a count out of habit. By 2 a.m., 7. I'd done 3 walkthrough checks on my log, eaten half a sandwich, and watched a silver sedan circle level 2 4 times before finally parking. That part 1 noted but didn't think much about. People are indecisive. It happens. At 2:34 a.m. a woman came to the booth window. Late 20s, backpack on one shoulder, keys in hand, clearly a student. She asked if I'd seen anyone near the stairwell on level 3 because she'd heard something when she walked past it and it made her uncomfortable. I told her I'd checked the camera. I pulled up the level 3 stairwell feed. Nothing. Empty concrete landing, fluorescent flicker on the left bulb that had been doing that for 2 weeks, metal railing, nothing else. I showed her the screen. She looked at it, nodded, said thanks, and walked toward the elevator. I watched her on camera too until she reached her car on level 2. She drove out at 2:37. I logged her exit. At 3:11 a.m. I went back to camera 4, level 3, for no specific reason. Routine scan. The stairwell landing looked the same. Fluorescent flicker. Metal railing. Except the shadow was wrong. There was a shadow on the wall behind the stairwell railing that didn't correspond to anything in the frame. Shadows in a parking structure at 3 a.m. have sources. Ceiling fixtures, the strip lighting along the floor edge. This shadow was vertical. Human-shaped. And it wasn't attached to anything the camera could see. I told myself it was the bulb. The flickering changes shadows. I know how light works. I kept watching. The shadow moved. Not dramatically. Not fast. It shifted, the way a person's shadow shifts when they adjust their weight from one foot to the other. A small, patient movement. Someone was standing just outside the camera's field of view. Close enough to cast a shadow into it. Far enough to stay invisible. I radioed campus security. They said they'd send someone to walk the structure. I watched all 6 camera feeds and waited. 7 minutes later, a security officer appeared on camera 1, entering the ground level. I watched him move through the structure on different feeds, level 1 clear, level 2 clear. He reached level 3. I watched him approach the stairwell on camera 4. The shadow was gone. He walked the landing, checked the stairwell above and below, came back to his radio and told me it was clear. I told him about the shadow. He was quiet for a moment, then said, "Do you have it on recording?" I did. I clipped the timestamp and saved it. I watched it again while he was still on the radio. The shadow. The shift. 40 seconds of something standing just off frame in a concrete stairwell at 3 a.m. He came to the booth to watch it. He didn't say anything for a while. Then he asked me how many cars were in the structure. I said 6. He said, "Walk me through each one." We pulled the entry logs. 6 cars, 6 entries, 4 students, 1 faculty member with a late-night lab pass, 1 unknown. The 6th entry was at 1:58 a.m. A vehicle had come through the gate, been logged by the sensor, but the camera had a red failure on the plate. The car was not in the structure. We checked every level. 5 cars. The 6th had come in, and at some point, left, without triggering the exit sensor. The only way to do that is to tailgate another vehicle out, timing your exit to follow close enough that the gate doesn't reset between you. Or to know where the sensor dead zones are. To have studied the system. Security locked the structure and we waited for morning shift. They found nothing on any level. No person, no abandoned items, nothing. The plate read failure from 1:58 a.m. was submitted to the university's security department. I was told 2 weeks later that it had been flagged as part of a pattern. The same read failure signature had appeared at 2 other campus structures over the prior month. Always between 1 and 3 a.m. Always a vehicle that entered and exited without a clean record. Someone had learned the camera blind spots. Was using them. Was comfortable enough to stand in a stairwell for at least 40 seconds without moving. Just standing. Waiting for something. Or someone. I finished out the week and put in for a different assignment. Before I left, I pulled up the archived feed one more time. Went back to 3:11 a.m. This time I looked at the bottom corner of frame, an angle I hadn't checked before, below the railing. There was a second shadow. Which meant there were never just one of them standing there. There were 2. And only one of them ever moved.